It is January 11th, 2022. It was after
What's the label?
Lana did this
What?
live stream.
Hold on.
What was the label of the exhibit E? What was the exhibit label?
So this was sent as a full live stream, but there are screenshots taken and they were...
This was
I don't think it has a label because it was sent as a video.
okay. So this isn't one of the exhibits from
No.
what we
no.
shared.
So you need to mark this as an exhibit.
I didn't know how to, like, as a video, though, like, you know.
I understand, but
I apologize.
that's okay. It looks like you left off at document-wise as exhibit ET, so I guess we'll label this, I don't even know where the... EU, thank you.
Well, I saw an EU. That's why I was wondering.
Okay,
I think we already have an EU, unless she labeled this one EU.
Maybe she did then.
The last few ones were, like, off the cuff, so, like, if I'm missing one, I apologize.
We'll call it EV then. I don't know what else to call it. But you're talking about my bath water's hot. The relevance of this, we got the date. You're saying she went live, and what happened? Did you see it?
Oh, yes. Okay. So, when Lana has stated how I had gone to the police, it was the day after this live stream. So when the one and only time I have ever gone to the police to report a crime that was committed against me, because this is a crime, it was after this live stream. And you are absolutely able to seek help from law enforcement when somebody is committing a crime against you. But you also denied sharing a photo of my child at the same time. So I want to be careful with how I show it, because I don't want to be sitting here scrolling and showing the videos of myself, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
But I don't want her to argue that it happened. So she is actively going through, as you can see, this is my and her messenger.
Objection for 1 second. Miss Jade, is Miss Oriani in this video that you're showing here? Is she just scrolling through her DMs with you? Is that what the video is?
This is you scrolling and reading.
So it was she's just scrolling through, right?
And
this is you scrolling and reading our
Okay, that's all. I didn't hear.
That's what it is.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time seeing it. That's why. Okay.
So as you can see, she has our Facebook Messenger up. One of the many times where she's gone through our Facebook messages and never had an issue. Again, last night, for some reason, she had an issue. And I'm going to try to let me see if this will work. So this is how Lana would just, and she's done new, I submitted 20 full-length live streams of her doing this exact type of stuff where she has tagged
All
me,
these messages is not a joke, man. This is my life.
and she will humiliate me, openly mock me, and I also want to make,
I'm almost there, though, because then I don't talk to her for a while.
I also want to make notice
She gets blocked.
that the only person who has mentioned sexuality on the record during this hearing has been Miss Oriani. I was questioned to state what my sexuality was while being questioned by Miss Oriani, which I should not have had to do. I should not have to state what my sexuality is, ever. And then she has the nerve to say I'm homophobic. That was absolutely unacceptable. But the claims that she has made in this petition that I've come after her because of her sexuality, that I have targeted her, I want to make it a point that the only person who has been questioned about their sexuality during this hearing has been myself. So it's at 2302. She's trying to scroll all the way to the top to make sure she gets all of our messages in there to read. I am not going to play it. I am going to skip past it. But right here, I'm sure you guys can see, is where I am doing a sexually explicit act. And in a moment, if I continue to let it play, it will automatically start to play the video. As it begins to play, she sits there for a minute and then continues scrolling. This was publicly played in front of thousands of people. On this same live, you showed my child, who I do not show publicly. I do not put out there. So let's show that part. More instances of you going through our sex messages right here.
Hold on. What's your objection?
She's describing what I don't know how to ask this, but she's just stating what transpires without us seeing that is actually in fact what transpired. I don't know how to.
I submitted it.
No. In order for me to see that that's what she's saying, let me understand.
So are you denying that
I'm denying, well, because she's testifying, so I'm planning on being quiet, having my notes, and then I
know,
cross.
But, so what's your
So my issue is that, so her testimony, so I'm understanding, is that would just automatically play because when you're scrolling over something, was it click to play? Was it, oh crap, stop, like I don't
Her testimony was that if somebody was watching this while you're scrolling down, that automatically played and that you broadcast it. She doesn't want to play it right now, but she's saying when you went live that you played it. That's her testimony.
That I pressed play on that button.
I think she said it automatically played as you were scrolling down. That's her testimony, okay? That's what she said. Let's keep going. I understand. I'm telling you that's what she said.
Thank you.
I said, no, I just had an obsession with broads, bikinis, and beaches. I can't blame you for that. Well, I have never seen as many straight girls crushing as hard as I've seen them while around you. I don't know what it is. I said, is that so? Yesterday they wanted to fucking kill me. Today they want to fuck me. Sounds about par for the course of Watts Island.
Who is this?
You can want to both kill and fuck someone. I said, oh, for sure. But what's the fun in that? I guess that depends on what you're into. I said simple, beaches. Enjoy yourself. That's what I'm into.
Who are these messages between that I'm reading?
Me and yourself.
Okay, she says between the two of you.
She knows that.
She
knows that because she has gone through it.
She's
I was
testifying to
asking a
that.
question.
I know.
This is
She actually already said that. She said that you.
this is the same exhibit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't moved on from that. So
I think you get the point that she goes through all of our sex messages, and this is not a unique live. She's done this many lives. Again, I submitted 19 full length, over 2 hours each live into evidence. The titles of those lives alone shows I am not harassing her. She claims it's in response to me, yet she has failed to submit anything that I have done that she's responding to because I don't do anything. Now, there's one more piece I want to show. Of this video. Hold on.
She said, I know what I'm doing. I said, so have you always liked females, or is this real? As fuck what? I mean, I've always appreciated the beauty in females, but never acted upon it. I said, are you still on your bed? I said, you must be putting work in. Oh, we're going to have to go past all.
So I said we're going to have to go past all of that. Thank you.
If you'd like to watch it yourself, Lana, that's not
that's
even the
what
time.
she said during her live. Is I've got to go past all that. She was just pointing out what she said on the video
To show that I was skipping over what that was.
It's a long live, Lana. If you'd like to find the timestamps yourself, you're more than welcome to. Okay, so
Truth. If I did anything malicious, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And you even apologize, though you shouldn't have really had to, and yet they still complain. I think they are just jealous because they aren't as relevant.
I'm going to stop it right there. You could see the photo of my daughter. I know this is going to eventually end up on YouTube, so I don't want to fully show it. But as you can see, she has the photo right there of my child, and she scrolls fully up. And so the only person who has, and I don't publicly put my child out, in the same live that you're scrolling through all of our sexual messages, in the same live that you're playing videos, you are also showing photos of my child publicly on a broadcast to humiliate me.
Objection, Your Honor.
you-
Can she play it without showing the screen so that we can hear if I pass it up to, was it purposely done? Like, because I wasn't cherry picking, so that's why I scrolled. I wasn't the type to put out messages by screenshots. So I just literally went from top to bottom and because I was trying to prove a point that I don't cherry pick. I put out everything as is. And so I do not want that out there.
Her point is that you displayed direct messages between the two of you. Her child was in one of the pictures. It got put on there, whether that was your point or not, it was there. The picture of her daughter was there. You didn't block it out, redact it. Right?
Yes.
If I'm allowed to answer that, no,
Yeah,
I think that I think it shows right when she stopped it the last time for me to say we have to go past all that. I believe that I would have went past no, I don't have every message between every person I have in chronological order of oh my god. I need to go past this right. That's not how you can do that, to be transparent, to show that you didn't cut out anything. So I think intent is very, very important here.
I understand.
That's all. So I was just curious as to if there's a way to hear, do I make an attempt to hurry up past why, to show that picture? Because me and her both shared pictures of our children. So my kid would have been in the process too. So it wasn't like I would scroll past that. I know what I would do.
You can tell me that. You did it. You shared these messages, correct?
Oh, I had to.
And, okay, I know you had to. You did it. That's all I said.
Absolutely.
You did it. So, is that your testimony that you weren't intentionally
100.
and that you would have scrolled through quickly? Okay, I have your testimony to that.
Yes, thank you.
So I don't want to waste the court's time, because I think you understand the point, but I submitted all other examples of the live streams with the titles, including
Objection.
Melissa
What she
Jade.
submitted, I have, is they were.
Okay, listen. She listed a bunch of them.
They were community
Before.
pages, posts. They weren't videos. They weren't lives.
Okay, all
No,
right.
these are full MP4 submitted lives.
Where were those, Miss Jade? I'm asking a
Okay,
serious question. I
we
don't
went
know.
over this. I wish you would listen. A few days ago, when we started the trial, I asked if you had heard more recent submissions. You said no. Miriam was supposed to forward them to you. I said, oh, shoot, because it was when I gave additional dates. You said, okay, that's okay, is what you said. That's when we talked about it, all right?
So these were the additions.
She
The MP.
then went over the names of all these videos that she says that you posted about her. She rambled through a bunch the other day during your cross, and you were acknowledging them. That's what we're talking
What
about.
I acknowledged was that I had videos and that about hashtags, and I never acknowledged what was on them. She asked me if those were my videos. I said yes.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Those videos.
But what's on them has not been
Okay.
presented for me to say that that's what that's about.
I think the titles of these live streams speak volume enough. And the titles include Melissa Jade, the Private Fart Detectives of the Year, My Bathwater Temperature is Hot, Mock Trial, MJ Takes the Stand, MJ Luda, The Real Trial, MJ Alley Receipts, MJ, here is what Andrea P. did to you in May and June. Did it on without her tripod, MJ's tripod. Unemployed YouTuber and dirty DMer, Melissa Jade. Melissa Jade's roast, most memorable moments. Melissa Jade tells Larry this. Wait, MJ's dildos. Melissa Jade,
How does that
you
spell?
a lie.
How is dildo spelled?
DILLDOES.
Okay. As in a pickle dill?
Melissa-
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Melissa Jade, you a lie. The infamous mod. Chat. Melissa judging Jade without research or facts. Overhead projector episode 1. Why YouTuber inserter Melissa Jade doesn't need a lawyer. 40,000 special, the thank you that is deserved. The unfiltered version is mine. Idaho 4, Brian Koberger's hearing schedule and new hearing, which that title's not me, but that is the live you did the day before our first initial court hearing, where you went over all the sex panel and it was all about me. The day before our court hearing, you went live and told everyone we were going to court. And then the Luda Lana call is not a live of yours. So those are just what I had offhand of the live streams you have done about me, and the titles I would like the magistrate, I'm sure she can get an idea of what the live streams themselves consist of. So my point is, over the course of 2 years, this is what I have endured. And I have kept my head down.
You're under
Because
objection
I
for 1
have
second.
feared-
Does she have the dates of the start point of those videos
She
to
said there
end
past
point?
2 years.
Oh, so they were spanned over 2 years?
Yes.
I have kept my head down.
How many
And
videos were
the
those total?
only
She
reason,
said 19.
19?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have not filed for a protection order in the past is literally out of fear for it getting worse. If it's already this bad, and the judge in Lana's Colorado case literally ruled that she gets an unhealthy fixation on people, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. I figured I'd rather keep my head down and take the abuse than to file and to start something that would just make it 10 times worse. So, respectfully, Your
Objection
Honor,
to
like
the
I started with,
testimony about anything to do with the Colorado magistrate's ruling and the fact finding there? When
Okay, sustain.
so
I'm going to interrupt you because it is proper defense. It is proper for you to put on evidence to say, no, I'm the one being harassed. But you know, at the end of the day, you haven't filed a case. I just want to make sure you address her allegations in a nutshell. To summarize, are that you approached her under false pretenses to try to set her up. You were either doing somebody else's dirty work or you're the manipulative bully behind all that. It's either one or the other. Either you were misled and now aren't willing to own up to that, or you're actually the one that triggered all of this. And that to date, you're now still working because, you know, she went ad nauseum through that chat message to show how much you and Andrea Powers and Aunt Lala were talking about her and things that could be done to her. But that was, you know, some time ago. Then she's talking about that she thinks that Aunt Lala and are still actively doing things to take her down, to disrupt her life, to trigger her, to cause her mental distress, to maybe cause her to violate the Colorado protection order, get her jailed, that everybody's desperate to do something to take her down. And she says that you're acting in concert with them. Okay? Do you want to address that? Are you doing these things?
if I was doing these things, there would be evidence of it. You know, like I said, Lana has a lot of conspiracy.
So no,
She's got.
can you start off by saying yes or no? Not. I get
Oh,
it
no.
that she didn't have.
No.
I get your point that where's the evidence of this, but just tell me.
No.
So your position is you've kept your head down. That
Yeah.
if she's got proof
No.
that in March you were talking to James, or you know, I'm going to get a little bit ahead of that because I'm sure this is going to be part of a cross-examination. I disclosed that email where he says he's concerned about what went on in court the other day. He's not here as far as I know, so I know she's going to be asking, well, how would he know? She's going to try to prove that, see, you're acting in concert with him. So I'm going to get a little bit ahead of that. Do you want to address these allegations?
I did not know. Trust me, I did not know about him reaching out ahead of time, and I'm not happy about it. But I'm allowed to, the same way that there's somebody sitting behind Lana right now that is her support system, I'm allowed to be able to talk about what's going on. And the truth is that he is the victim of a pending criminal case. And if I want to let him know that, hey, yeah, you were brought up a lot and you were the highlight of the case, I'm allowed to do that. Now, do I agree that you were reached out to, and did I know that you were going to be reached out to? Absolutely not. And I am extremely upset about that. But there is nothing I can do about it because it doesn't help my case, right? I'm over here trying to sit saying, hey, I'm not, working, and I'm not, looking, I'm trying to not appear that way, and then he reaches out, and so it just does not work in my favor. And so, no, that would be the last thing that I'd want him to do. So I didn't know about it. I literally found out a minute before when I checked my email to open up the exhibits of the ones that I had just created when Lana had sent the message into the chat last night. And if I didn't even...
This is clearly a friend of yours, a confidant of yours, somebody that you would feel comfortable reaching out, talking about the court case. But
there's multiple.
But would you tell
Listen.
him, hey, why don't you send the magistrate an email calling
No.
Miss Oriani mentally unstable? I mean, I'm just going to be honest with everybody. I don't know what. First of all, he's not here. I don't know where that email came from, but it's representatives coming from him. Long story short, I would like to think that people would be intelligent enough to know that I honestly don't understand if I was supposed to walk in the courtroom today and say, oh, I got this email from this unknown person that's not here. He said that, you know, the respondent's the true victim. You're mentally unstable. You're crazy. There's no conspiracy to take you down. Then he disparaged how I handle cases. So we got in digs about me. So I'm just wondering if he really thought I was going to come in here and say, I'm going to just dismiss the case.
Right.
Because I believe everything he wrote in here must be the truth and legit. As I said, I'm disregarding that. I'm not going to let it affect me, what he wrote. I'm basing my decision on what's presented in the courtroom, but it is an odd thing to do, right? You would agree with that, because I don't understand what he truly thought.
I don't either.
What the objective would have been. And I agree that that would have been a weird thing for you to direct him to do. Because I don't think you thought that,
image,
this is going to work. This is going to get the magistrate to open up her eyes if I have this guy send her an email. And you're telling me that's not what you thought. That's not, when you talked to him, that wasn't what your purpose was.
I did not find out until, like, I literally opened up the email a minute before court started, and it wasn't the best way to start court. Honestly, it threw me completely off, and I was not happy at all.
And you understand my position that I'm in the middle of ongoing proceedings, and when I've got a non-party suddenly reaching out, discussing the merits of the case, actively trying to advocate that, as far as I know, isn't planning on being a witness, I have a duty to disclose that. I received that communication to the parties. So I wasn't trying to throw you off.
It's only fair. I understand.
Okay. But I'm letting you know that that is part of Miss Oriani's point, is that she believes that you and others act in concert to disrupt her life, and what she's going to scream up and down is that, see, this proves my point. They were trying to disrupt my court case.
Hence why I'm so mad. It's like, why would you? I don't get it. But, you know.
All right, so.
But no, I am not working in any operation to take Lana down, because I know she's referred to an Operation Take Down Lana in the past. I am not working in conjunction. I do not have anybody do my dirty work. Do I talk to people in private? Do I have friends and do I talk to them about what's going on? Absolutely. Do I not talk about Lana publicly because I don't want to get targeted by her? Absolutely. Now, is it true that she continues to go live about me? So will I communicate privately with my friends with the expectations for it to remain private? Absolutely. And I talk to other friends who also are going through similar situations. Now, we all don't agree. James will be the first person to say, me and him don't agree. We handle things completely separate. But I am not working with anybody. I do not do anybody's dirty work. I am the complete opposite of how Lana is portraying me to be. And if she turned around and said, I will never mention your name again, and you don't ever mention mine, it would be the best day, because that is what I've been looking to achieve for over 2 years now. That's why I'm saying when she's offered that to me, I am so confused, because I've already not reached out to you and I've already not said a word about you. So I have to pray that the court is able to see that the lack of evidence is.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but just while I was thinking about it, because I want to make sure you address, because there's a lot. It's hard to follow.
Yeah.
Miss Oriani gave some testimony today about the Voldemort badges that paying members, if they pay, can use that emoji. So her point is that that's going on, that you're inciting people to bully, harass. You know, you're inciting hatred against her by engaging that kind of behavior. Do you want to address that?
I do, actually, and thank you for reminding me. So, you aren't allowed to mention Lana on my channel. You aren't even allowed to mention her channel on my, like the name of her channel on my channel. Now, it never really was an issue, like people would never mention her name at all until we started covering the Idaho case, which is more of a recent case in the last 6 months. Well, actually in the last year. But in the last year, we started to have subscribers that became mutual that didn't know our history. And so there would be people who would come into my chat and would say the name Lana and would say the name Truth and Transparency. Now, what she is describing and depicting is not accurate. My mods know we delete anything with the name Lana and we delete anything with the name Truth and Transparency. That is why she cannot produce anything, because you are not allowed to talk about that here. I have one rule on my channel. You are not allowed to mention her. I will not talk about her on my panel. You are not allowed to mention her in my chat. That is my one rule. And so, but because we had this influx of all these new subs who did not know this history, and they were all coming in from this one case, eventually I said, we don't speak that name here. You know, like she's the one we don't name. Now, if you know that, Harry Potter, that's Voldemort, you know? And we put Voldemort as, when your membership, you do have membership badges that do become a perk when you are a paying member. I had put in Voldemort there just as an emoji. That in no way was some type of way. Now when I pay, and I pay to become a member, am I now paying to harass her? Paying to, majority of the people don't even know it's her. Okay? And it just, the way she's depicting it, it is nowhere near the truth, versus it was the one live stream where it was just funny the way I said it. It was like, we don't name here. She's the one we don't name. Please don't refer to her here like that. And it was giggling, and it was like, yeah, it was like Voldemort, like that. And that she turned in and ran into, now people are paying, and when they pay to harass. No, they don't pay to harass. You will not find one comment ever on my channel that is harassing Lana, period. And if that did existed, Lana would have submitted evidence showing it, yet she still has not been able to submit any of it. And I think it also should speak volumes that I go so far that you literally cannot speak her name on my channel. That is how far I go. So to say you are being harassed and my channel is used to go at you when you aren't even allowed to mention you, so much to where that Voldemort was a joke, the one we don't name here from Harry Potter. That's the lengths I go. You do not mention her here.
I did want to ask you, if you can recall in your chat message, I'm sorry, I don't have the page, when said, what do you want me to do, Melissa, question mark. I really didn't see a response from you. Do you remember the context of that?
I'd have to look, but if I could be honest, if you check the amount of chat messages I actually had in there compared to Andrea, it was a lot less than them, because Andrea had a relationship and I didn't. And Lana likes to make it seem like it was happening all day long. The chat existed for what, like 4 months, I think? It only existed for 4 months. No, I mean active. Right? It's only active
January
for like 4 months.
19th.
Were you ever acting in concert with, like, were you expecting to post things to trigger Miss Oriani on your behalf
No,
to give you
not at all.
plausible deniability?
Absolutely not. I've always been the wuss, actually, because I'm always the one who is against doing all of that because I'm always scared of triggering her.
And that's part but see, that's part of Miss Oriani's claim, is she says that you didn't want to be the one doing these things, but you gave others the go-ahead to do it, the things that you didn't want to do. Then you incited other people, that you told them falsehoods about Miss Oriani to get them upset at her, to them they want to then protect you, to retaliate on your behalf. That she says that's kind of what you're the mastermind behind, that's what you did. Is that true?
Right. No, and I'm sure you probably realize, Your Honor, but even if I tried to do that, everything is a conspiracy with Miss Oriani. So even if I tried to do, oh, you do it, I would be dragged in anyway, because it's all one big conspiracy of you were there and you're involved and you're connected and this and that. So even if I tried to have somebody else post it and somebody else do it, I would still be dragged in no matter what.
So do you think that you shouldn't be dragged in if you had somebody else post something?
No,
I never had somebody else post something.
Her point is that she wouldn't have just tried to secretly have other people do things, because her experience with you is that you're going to drag everybody into it. So that wouldn't have, like, she knows that would never have worked to try to.
Then why did you delete all your channel that had to do with all the stuff that you did do?
You're not asking her questions right now.
I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize.
I mean, I can do that. I'm allowed to do that.
Sorry.